This team is exactly the same team from last time, where I was trying to sort of just clean up, go for Miss Maggie's sweep, and the only thing that happened is that conveniently, the next Pokemon in the Alola Dex just so happens to be Golbat. So, it's really convenient that I managed to get a good battle in where Golbat was actually essential. So I didn't actually build this team around Golbat, but in the end it actually ended up being extremely helpful. So I start off, go out into my Sachan here, get hit with the Will-O-Wisp immediately, which extremely sucks. I went for the Pursuit thinking this thing might switch out, but that was a bad idea. So now the opponent actually tries to switch, but get hits with a Pursuit and doesn't finish him off, unfortunately, thanks to the Will-O-Wisp. So my opponent goes out here, goes into Avalugg. There's not really much that I can do against this damn thing, so I just go for a U-turn, get out of there, get hit with my Life Orb, but I'm already down to 50, and I got a pretty useless monkey. Get hit with a Gyro Ball, and coming Golbat, who hits this thing with a taunt, thinking it might throw rocks at him, but actually hits me with an Avalanche, which kind of sucks. So next turn, I just go for a Roost, get back to full health, and thanks to the Eviolite and the fact that Roost gets rid of your flying typeness, it doesn't really do a lot of damage. So next turn I go for a Toxic, but I actually have the flying type weakness, so I take a good amount of damage from that. I go for another Roost here. Should have probably gone for the taunt, knowing this thing was going to come out, going through the Heal Bell, but I actually went for the Toxic, which immediately gets undone by the Heal Bell. After that, I go here for a taunting, and this thing might go for Calm Mind, which it did. Afterwards, the opponent switches out, goes into Frostlass, who gets Toxic as well. After that, I switch, don't want to get hit with a Thunderbolt or anything like that. Go back to the Sachan, who's pretty much Death Fodder, but I actually get hit with a Trick, which really doesn't affect me in the lightest, because I was already pretty useless. Fortunately, I switch out, going to the Lilligant here after the the Frostlass dies, so I switch, go out into Zubat Woman after a shitty fake out, but unfortunately this guy gets off 2 Quiver Dances, which is pretty scary, so I managed to hit this thing off with a taunt to stop it from doing any more. Hits me with a probably Hidden Power Ice, which does a shit ton of damage, so I managed to just throw out a Toxic at that point, and then managed to switch out, go here to Sachan here, who's pretty much Death Fodder as the Toxic warms up to take down my opponent. After I go here into the Sceptile, who manages to survive a Petal Dance, and then hit off a Hidden Power Fire, which leaves this thing off with 1 HP, but thanks to the Toxic, down goes the boosted Lilligant. At that, my opponent goes out here to the Spiritomb, which I thought was really weird, but in any case, I go into Seismitoad here, getting with a Curse, which was even weirder, because he cuts his HP in half just to get rid of my HP by 25% for each turn. So I go for the knock off this Lumberry, and I'm thinking like, well, I'm not really doing a lot of damage and I'm cursed, so let me get the fuck out of here. Switch out, go into my Dodrio here, who manages to resist the Shadow Sneak and doesn't take a lot of damage from the Sucker Punch, and I finish off the Spiritomb with a Brave Bird. Then comes in here the Typhlosion, who is probably Choice Scarf, but in any case, faster, even finish him off with the Eruption. I go into my Sceptile here as Death Fodder, because I actually thought it was faster for whatever reason, and then gets finished off with an Eruption. Then I go back into Miss Magus, who survives 1 HP, gets the Sonic Berry, manages to hit the Nasty Plot, because I figured I would at least survive. For whatever stupid reason, I thought I would survive. So I managed to go for the Shadow Ball, and thought I could go ahead and just sweep here. I go for the Shadow Ball. Unfortunately, that doesn't do enough to get rid of Avalugg, and I get taken out with a Gyro Ball. So I go into Bertha, thinking maybe a Drain Punch would be enough to heal me up, but this thing has crazy high defenses and not enough HP to heal me. So down goes Bertha after his Avalanche. All I'm left is with Zubat Woman. I go for the Roost to bring myself back up to full HP, or rather closer to full HP. The Avalanche doesn't really do too much damage after losing the Flying type, as we've gone over again. So I managed to throw on Toxic to whittle down this Avalugg here. Go for more Roost here to bring my HP back up. Again, thanks to the Eviolite. Golbat Eviolite is really good. I gotta thank Alex from the Ducks for that one. But yeah, I'm just going here, throwing out Toxics and Taunts on this Aldino, who's trying to hit me with High Reverse Suit that doesn't really do any damage, because Aldino's not really a strong special attacking Pokemon. After the taunt wears off, I immediately go for the taunt, because my opponent obviously wants to go for the Heal Bell, but unfortunately he can't, and after that my opponent just quits. Because, I mean, there's really nothing he could have done. I would have just kept on using Roost and throwing out taunts whenever it ran out, because I spot him. So that's pretty cool. It's not often you see a Golbat actually be useful in battle. Stay fresh.